All right, you are a living, breathing being. So we can involuntarily breathe and we can voluntarily breathe. But when we don't pay attention to what's happening with our breath, it just kind of happens. But the more that we get connected with our breath, the more we get connected to our internal state, the better we are able to manage our stress, the greater levels of intensity that we can find without taxing the body. We can be more efficient and effective in workouts. And so when we are training, okay, we can go from 0 to 60 really quickly, or we can start to build our capacity, or we can it's like shifting gears in a car. So I can be nose breathing when things get harder. But if I can stay in this place, my intensity might be a little bit lower than it normally is if I was like breathing. So we may have to slow down. And so if it's like, hey, we want you to breathe in and out of your nose, you might not be able to go as fast as you want to go. And if all of a sudden you start freaking out and panicking, you can always remember that you can just and get a couple big breaths. So if we're saying nose, the goal is to stay nose, but you might actually have to slow down in order to build that capacity up. And then we have that next gear that's in the nose, out the mouth. Same thing, we can start to build intensity, but we might get to a place where there's only a certain amount of work and a certain amount of intensity that we can find in that gear, but then we might have to slow down a little bit more. And then we have we're just going for it. We want you to run as fast as you can, as long as you can, and don't even worry about what's happening with your breath. And you're just going, okay? It's not great for your throat, or your body, or the effectiveness of energy production, etc. Okay, it's very wasteful. So we want to stay in the nose as much as possible. We want to be inhaling through the nose, less inhaling through the mouth. Okay, and I want you just to remember throughout your workouts, I want you to just continue to breathe. A lot of times when things get hard, we sort of want to check out in our minds, we want to check out in our bodies, but when we hold our breath, okay, or we just sort of stop breathing and we don't even know that we're breathing, or we start taking big gulps in the mouth, a lot of times we're just very disconnected from the movement. We tend to get disconnected from our bodies. The stress level increases, the panic increases, and that makes things just a little bit harder to stay engaged with. So the more we can stay connected to our breath, the more we can stay connected to what's happening inside of our bodies as well as what's happening in our muscles. So I hope that helps. Enjoy.